Hi, everybody. Well, today is Thursday, and today we are going to be hitting on something that Guilford County is calling our key concepts. Now, what that really means is that we are going to go back and touch back on some skills that we learned earlier in the year that are going to be really important for you as you finish out the fourth grade and then head to fifth grade next year. And today, what we're going to be touching back on are multiplication strategies. Now, if you remember right before we left with the COVID, we were working in those wonderful math centers that you guys were so good at and loved. I loved that too. And we were working on multiplication. And so we had a big discussion one day about all those strategies that we needed to use when we multiplied. Now, the two that I'm going to talk about today are the area model and the standard algorithm. And this is really for multi-digit or lots of digits multiplication. Now, parents, if you're listening, in the fourth grade, this was all that we did in multiplication. We did single digit by single digit multiplication. We did a single digit by 2, 3, or 4 digits. And we did 2 digit by 2 digit. And so I'm going to be modeling a 2 digit by 2 digit problem using the area model and the standard algorithm. And then I'm also going to touch on a single digit by a 3 digit number using the standard algorithm. The kids are really well familiar with this one. But the area model, they may have a little bit of trouble remembering. So we're going to go back over that. So basically, in measurement, we learned that area is when you multiply length times width. And so that's really the premise for what we're doing when we learn the area model. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 26 times 43, and we're going to break this apart. And I know moms and dads that you guys are much more familiar with the standard algorithm, but the area model is something that they will continue to use all the way up into high school, the kids will, when they are multiplying binomials and polynomials and all kinds of large numbers. They're going to come back to this area model. So even though it's not something that we were familiar with growing up, it's something that makes greater, higher level math much more comfortable for them. So let's attempt to work on it with the area model too. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box. And I'm going to break it into 4 parts because I have 4 digits that I'm multiplying. I'm going to take my first number, 26, and I'm going to split it up into expanded form, which means I'm going to break up the value of the 2 and the 6. The kids know this. This is going to be 20 plus 6. And that gets me 26. So this box represents 20 and this box represents 6. Going down the side, I'm going to do the same thing with the number 53. But I'm going to do it a little bit funny. I'm going to put the 50 at the bottom and the 3 at the top. So I've got 20 plus 6, and I'm going to multiply it times 50 plus 3. Each of these boxes is going to be what we call a partial product. It's going to be part of our multiplication problem. And when we're finished, we're going to add up all of these partial products, and we're going to get a complete product. We're going to get our answer. So I'm going to write my problem over here, and I'm going to stack it up just like I would for the standard algorithm, then I'm going to get to work. So I actually always start over here. So I'm going to take the 6 and the 3, both of my single digits, and they come together right here. And I know that 6 times 3 is going to equal 18. So I'm going to come and write 18 underneath my multiplication problem over here. And I'm going to make sure that I have my ones place and my tens place lined up. My next box, I'm going to multiply 20 and 3. And I know that 2 times 3 is 6, and I've got 1 0 to add to that. So I know that this partial product is 60. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. Let me start on the right side with 50 times 6. And I'm going to remember that 50 times 6 really has that simple fact of 5 times 6, which is 30. And I know I'm adding another 0. So 50 times 6 is 300. And I'm going to bring that over here and be very careful. Now I have something in the hundreds place. So I don't want to line that up in the tens place accidentally. I'm going to put it in the hundreds place. And in my last box, this is actually going to be my greatest value, is 20 times 5. I'm sorry, 20 times 50. I'm going to think about that as the easy breezy fact of 2 times 5, which is 10. And I have 2 more zeros to add to that, which is 1,000. So once again, I'm going to make sure that I line up my digits correctly. If I have remembered my basic facts, this is going to be a pretty easy, quick thing for me to do. All right, I'm now going to add my ones place. I have an 8 and 3 zeros, so that's 8. 1 plus 6 in the tens place is going to be 7 tens. 3 in the hundreds place, and 1 in the thousands place. So the answer to my problem of 26 times 53 is 1,378. Now we're going to take a look at it in the standard algorithm, which is the way that most of us are very familiar with. You'll also be learning this in the 5th grade. Now, I'm going to stop us right here. I'm showing you the standard algorithm. By now, every kid in my class knows the way that works for them. You guys know if you're an area model person or if you're a standard algorithm person. This is not the time to start doing it another way, okay? This is the time to keep working in the way that you know. Remember that we are going to be using this area model again. You're going to be using it next year in the 5th grade when you're multiplying mixed numbers. You're going to be using it in high school and middle school. So this is a very great way for you to solve this problem. But it can also be done using the standard algorithm or the old school way. We didn't go over this very much, but some of you know it. So if this was your way back in school, use it now. I'm going to start by multiplying the 3 in the ones place, 3 times 6, which is 18. I'm going to carry my 1. Then I'm going to multiply the 3 down in the ones place by the 2 in the tens place. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. I'm going to mark out that 1 because I'm done. And I'm going to put down a 0 because now I'm multiplying the tens place, 5 tens. We didn't talk about this. You will talk about it in 5th grade. Some of you know this from AG. Some of your parents are going to show you this way. That's perfectly fine, but I always put a 0 down when I'm starting the multiplication in my tens place. 5 times 6 is 30, so I put down my 3 and my 0 and carry a 3. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And I add these two partial products up. Now we see that we've got partial products when we do the standard algorithm, guys. Look at where we got them. I'm going to add the two numbers up here in the top of my model. 60 plus 18 equals 78. Look at that, same thing on the top of my model. Down here I've got 1,000 plus 300, which would be 1,300. That was the partial product I got when I multiplied using the standard algorithm, and I was in the tens place. So if you do it in the standard algorithm, I want you to check your work with a calculator, and if you weren't right, I want you to go back and try it with the area model. All right, there's one more standard algorithm. I'm going to do this number 753 times 4. Now I'm going to also set this one up in the standard algorithm, just like this. And this is what we were very familiar with. We know we take this bottom number and we multiply it times the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. So 4 times 3 is 12, and I carry a 1. We did this in Find the Error last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think now. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. I'm carrying the 2. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 2 is 30. So my answer is 3,012. Let me go back and double check that. 3 times 4 is 12, carry a 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21, carry the 2. 4 times 7 is 28 plus 2 equals 30. So my answer is 3,012. In your problems today, you have 2 problems to submit for me. One of them is a tape diagram. One of them is going to have to do with multiplying. The second one, you're going to see some problems like this that you are going to need to solve. If you have any questions at all, please email me. I'm happy to work through those with you. And when we come to our Zoom on Thursday, we'll have a Zoom class on Thursday called Check and Correct. I'm going to show you what the tape diagram for Thursday should look like, or what it will look like for solving that problem on Thursday. So have fun with it and do your best. You may use a calculator to check, but I want you to do your work on paper. See you later, alligators.